Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Hum Tum and AI. Myself Kaumudi Vaidya from Bharat CXO. We have with us Mr. Sumit Poddar, sir. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, good afternoon. Good, Kamudi. Thanks a lot for inviting me to this particular podcast, videocast, whatever you may call it. Uh, Fantastic.
Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure is ours. So, Mr. Sumit is the founder and chief investment officer of Ticona Capital Finserv Private Limited, a wealth management firm specializing in equity portfolios, mutual funds, differentiated financial products, and wealth solutions, catering to working professionals and entrepreneurs of various sizes. With over 20 years of experience in equities and investments, he has held various roles, including leadership roles at Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance, Star Union, Dai-ichi, and TCS. An AI enthusiast and active investor, Sumit holds an All India rank in Chartered Accountancy, has completed CFA Level 2, and earned his Bachelor in Commerce from Mumbai University. It's so good to know about you, sir.
Great. Thanks for such kind words. Ultimately, we all are slave of whatever is happening around us, and this is what life has provided to me. And yes, want to always share such kind of experiences and build any kind of wisdom around it, which can help anybody around us.
Absolutely, sir. So we will just start with our podcast session. So firstly, I would like to ask you, what role do you think AI will play in your industry in the next few years?
Yeah, pretty interesting question, Kamudi. I mean, it seems AI is kind of taking over the world, rather it be in terms of actual productivity or in terms of the contextualization that is happening across. Uh, Yes, we in the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, we have been seeing technologization or digitization of things. Uh, I think we need to look at AI in a very different perspective. While it is an extension of technological revolution or evolution that is taking place, however, it is a big shift because it's not just about artificial intelligence, it is also adding colors to the human intelligence itself, right? Rather it be kind of summarization of things, contextualization of things. As we all know, I think AI has already learned what humans have learned over last 10, 20, 30,000 of years. Of course, human history is just 10,000 years old, but whatever we have learned in last, again, the written context is only just 5,000 years old. It's like humans learned to write or document things just 5,000 years back. And so whatever has been learned by humans is already being learned by AI, and all the learning is being kind of contextualized by AI. Now, coming to specifically to what our industry is likely to benefit, I think there is going to be a paradigm shift as far as AI is concerned. Uh, until now, AI is being used just like any other tool which we might be using, a Word, Excel, or things like that, just asking some few dummy questions, getting an output, writing an email, replying an email, and things like that. That's not what AI would look maybe couple of months down the line, maybe couple of quarters down the line. I think what AI would bring in is a personalization and trust building amongst the people who are dealing with it. Like, for example, uh, if in past systems were built on a one-to-one basis, okay, this is a small investor, this is how you need to really communicate with this particular investor. And same way, if this is a large investor, there used to be a very good personalization. I think with AI, there is going to be a mass personalization that is likely to take place. Also with AI, what happens is they can rather empathize well with each kind of investors, rather it be a small investor, medium investor, or a large investor, a kind of a novice, intermediate learner, or a very advanced learner. So what is happening is, yes, next year we are going to rather see AI as a digital co-advisor, which is helping clients, which is articulating the goals and the risks quite well, which is tracking the behavior of the clients or prospective investors, and asking them to be staying disciplined. So the whole challenge is likely to, or the whole story will be about how a wealth management firm or how an investment professional is able to harness this power by becoming scalable, empathetic, and data informed. So that is the kind of transformation, in my view, is likely to happen in wealth industry in the next few years. And of course, every year will be an extension of what is literally happening over the past years. But yes, I mean, earlier we used to talk about 30% improvement, 40% improvement, 50, 100. Now it's, I mean, ultimately it's exponential change that is likely to happen. It's not 2x, it's x raised to 2. That's the kind of change that is likely to happen in the coming years with the help of AI.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Nextly, I would like to ask you, can you share a story about a successful AI project in your organization and what exactly made it work?
So let me tell you, I mean, we are rather trying to use AI in every aspect, right from onboarding our associates, our employees, or our interns, to giving them letters. I mean, it may be used in bits and bits, but at the same time, we are trying to use it in an every aspect of our processes: onboarding an employee, training an employee, client servicing, product, new product changes. In terms of the content that needs to be kind of given, in terms of our research processes, in terms of our any kind of deep research that we need to do on a particular stock, in terms of finding new ideas, in terms of communicating, client communication. Now coming to what we have built specifically, as far as AI is concerned, we have built a Sumit Poddar AI, which beta of which is there on our website, ticonacapital.com, where you could actually see that it has been trained to engage with investors in terms of having deeper conversation, in terms of understanding what their problems are, in terms of telling them what are the different strategies that can be applied. Of course, it has gone through our own filtering mechanism, but at the same time, with the help of AI, it is able to personalize it to the level of the person who is asking the questions, the prospective client, prospective investor, or the user at that point in time. It is having that conversational tone, it is simplifying the complex ideas in the user's language or the ethos that Ticona Capital FinServ holds. It is able to answer it in that manner. So we have tried to put such tools or such power in the hands of user himself, where they start with the level of their own understanding. They learn, ask questions, and our answers are also in that manner. Rather than being kind of selling something, we are more on the educating side, which is where we are able to create the trust with those prospective customers or wealth builders who are looking to build wealth, and educate, have that trust. It is also freeing up a lot of our internal time to focus on building new things, helping our clients, building new ideas, finding new ideas, making content which can help our investors to gain out of such a situation. So yes, it has been I mean, it's a continuous journey, and given that where the AI evolution itself is happening, I think it's a continuous journey. Already, as we said, we already have Sumit Poddar AI, where it can engage with investors. It is able to answer any kind of questions in a very conversational tone. It is simplifying the complex concepts with for any of the kind of user that is coming to our website and trying to learn. And in the coming periods, we are further going to enhance these kind of offerings, where we are able to scale our thought process, we are able to personalize our thought process, we are able to create the affinity with the user or prospective investor, where it's more than selling, it's more about the win-win situation that can be created between the investor and Ticona Capital FinServe with the help of technology, which broadens the contextualization as well as relevance.
Yes, sir. Yes, I do agree with you. Next, I would like to ask you, how is AI changing customer experience in your field?
Again, I think so. See, in our field, what matters the most is the trust, right? Uh, People interact with us, transact with us only when we have trust. Now, the underlying effect of trust building is the kind of conversation that we have between the investor or between the client and the firm, right? So the building blocks are ultimately the customer experience that is being created. So customer experience plays a very important role as far as a wealth management business is concerned. Now, how do we apply technology to it? Now, what has been seen is for a wealth management firm, it's all about the return on time employed, right? Or for that matter, any services business is all about how returns are being generated for the time that is being kind of deployed. Uh, we want the client to be there. We want that the products or the ideas that we are coming out uh, are being communicated to our clients quite well and in a well optimized manner. We don't want to oversell, overinvest our time in client. At the same time, we don't want to underinvest or undersell a particular idea or a particular wealth or money making idea to our customers. So what has happened is with this approach, customer experience has to be enhanced. It has to be more approachable, less intimidating, and more a continuous journey that we have along with our customers. Unless and until this part is being, I won't say resolved, but this goal is being achieved in the customer experience, we won't have what creates that win-win situation amongst Ticona Capital FinServe as well as the clients who are kind of doing business with Ticuna Capital. So just to give you an example, I mean, customer experience these days, most of the clients are on WhatsApp. We have to enable WhatsApp chatbots. That adds that layer of customer experience. Similarly, if we can add multiple languages onto it, that will add further feathers to that kind of an experience. Similarly, I mean, in the past, it would always be just nudges for SIP top ups. How we really can explain asset allocation over these just kind of nudges. So ultimately, net, it's more about the trust rich experience which matters. It's more relatable content which matters. And ultimately, it's more about the underserved next gen investors, how we can serve them at the same time, serve the best or the creamiest of the clients in a most efficient manner to be much more relevant to each kind of clients. So that's what is being enabled with AI, and this is how customer experience is completely getting revamped or rethought about.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. What a beautiful example. Nextly, I would like to ask you, what challenges does your industry face while using AI?
Well, I mean, as any new technology, any new subject, any new uh, belief which comes into picture faces multiple challenges in terms of training, in terms of understanding, in terms of regulation, in terms of uh, how, why, what, where should we really trust it, or is it really being, I mean, made from the best of the things, or what not. So and similarly even AI is going through that particular phase. Yes, the only thing that is happening is these things are happening very rapidly, unlike if it were have been a car which came in maybe late or early 19th century, where it years to have the kind of inventions where if there was a challenge, it used to go back to drawing room, come back, test at scale and things like that. But today it's more like, okay, this is working, to it is there, and the whole 800 crore people on this earth would know about. Similarly, if something is not working, the whole 800 crore people would know about. So it's the communication right from top to bottom is really very fast. Similar communication as well as miscommunication. Let me put it that way. So the challenges, if I were to kind of coming back to the pointed output of your question, first and foremost is explainability. Okay, why did AI recommend so and so thing? I mean, whether it is being explained well or not, uh, what is the reason, what is the logic behind it, whether that logic resonates with me or not, whether that logic really makes sense or not. One is explainability. First and foremost is explainability. Second is trust, right? We have all, I mean, as I mentioned in our business, trust plays an very important role, because people transact only when they are able to establish that bite size or a large bite size of trust. They are able to go to deep lens if they trust someone. However, even if they are able to make huge money, but if they don't have trust, they would definitely not transact with us, or for that matter, anybody between the two. It's not transactional, but it is more trust based relationship, which is what matters. And that is why in AI, I mean, it's the trust, because there is no that explainability that we talked about. Similarly, trust of the output being to that quality. Thirdly, maybe, uh, I mean, the beauty about AI is, if the output is garbage, it's very highly likely that it's the data which has been data quality has been the garbage. So garbage in, garbage out is the best seen as far as AI is concerned. So yes, that garbage in, so ultimately what goes in will come out. So how do we ensure that it's not the garbage which goes inside, and thereby kind of uh, repudiates the trust of the clients, of the users, of even the whole all stakeholders, not just clients. It's even employees in terms of shareholders, everybody. We have to ensure that data quality is good enough to get the right kind of outcome, which is what creates trust. And lastly, which is the most important part, is the regulatory compliance, especially in the wealth or maybe securities business, how we are compliant. While SEBI has been quite helpful to ensure usage of technology for ease of business perspective, but and similarly, it has asked the industry players to have right kind of disclosures wherever AI is being used. Uh, and which is what makes sense, because ultimately clients need to know what output is AI output and what output is human output. Although a combination of the two is what is the killer outcome for all of us, whether it be the firm or the regulator or the intermediaries or the client. I mean, it's the combination of the two, which is what is creating that beautiful architecture in place. So net, what is it that I'll say is, we need to build kind of tech fluency with investor psychology, and having a right kind of compliance framework, which is what will actually unlock the real potential. And we are walking that path, no doubt about that.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Nextly, I would like to ask you, how does using AI affect innovation in your organization?
I think with AI, rather it is opening the doors to multiple level of innovation. It's not just about innovating either a product or anything like that. It is accelerating ideation. It is reducing the feedback cycles, because the outputs that are coming are at least putting us to the relevant part of the innovation. See, what happens in innovation is kind human brain is being kind of opened up to think in multiple directions, right? So with AI, what happens is when you have your innovative mind talking about the relevant problem set, either problem set or opportunity set, the ideation that comes out is being relevant, focused, and at the same time, much more, much more enhancing the overall innovation process. So it has helped us in multiple areas. Whenever we think, we first put our points in place. We try to kind of validate it we have external validation. Whatever kind of feedbacks we have in place, we try to again validate it with AI in terms of it asking it to be a devil's advocate of a particular idea. And then the experimentation is also a very cost effective manner as such, right? So once that idea is there, yes, having kind of prototype dashboards, creating any kind of educational content that is there, if we need to simulate any kind of asset allocation strategies or kind of brainstorming the product names, all of this we can definitely do with AI. It is helping us to uh, innovate. It is creating a learning culture in our organization of how to be much more critical thinker, how to have right questions in place, how to have right storytelling in place. And I mean, while storytelling has to be there, it should not be a story selling. I mean, it should be a storytelling, right? With having kind of regulatory awareness, and at the same time a knowledge of behavioral finance, because most of the investors would ultimately have, I mean, they are going through this behavioral journey in their life along with the financial journey. So uh, while our associates or relationship managers need to know about the financial journey that a particular investor or particular client is going through along with his family journey as such, or maybe his professional journey, it also has to be aware of this behavioral thought process journey that each of the investors or the customers or clients go through. So net a combination of these three things, these three, four things, is what gets enabled with AI, and it is definitely adding to the innovational DNA of our companies.
Yes, sir. What a fantastic explanation, sir. Nextly, I would like to ask you, how can small businesses use AI effectively?
I think in this is the best of the times as far as history is concerned, where AI has kind of levelized the playing field, or rather, it has put the larger organization at disadvantage to smaller organization, because with AI, right from innovation, right from product development, right from the product roadmap itself, right from maybe the MVP itself, right from whether the product market fit is there, or right from the strategy to launch a product, right from content for that particular product, right from reaching that client in a very large scale manner. Everything is so fast. It can really be implemented so fast that it makes a small organization look like a very large organization, right? And whereas in case of a large organization, I mean, it is still either being discussed in boardrooms whether we should have it or not have it. If we have it, which consultant to ask? I mean, consultant, the pace of change is so fast that by the time consultants would themselves keep abreast of the changes and present it to the boardroom, and those boardrooms maybe think, understand, learn across the organization, the technology itself would have changed. So the small businesses currently are at a huge advantage the founders, the entrepreneurs can really embrace AI, can really learn things very fast and implement it, right? So they can use it for, maybe, I mean, we are already using it. I mean, as compared to very large wealth firms, we are very small, and we are able to use it in our organizations quite effectively and gaining out of it, right? Rather it be customer education, customer queries, onboarding, compliance checklists, reporting, repeated tasks can be there, the employee training can be done. As I said, different product kind of training can be done, rather it be for a novice investor to a very advanced investor. Everyone can be serviced in a very different manner, in an empathetic manner, and at the same time, they can contact us only when they want to contact us. So whatever we have can really be communicated in a very minuscule cost to us, and which is where, I mean, I think small businesses can really benefit hugely out of this AI revolution which is happening, which is as or maybe 100x or 1000x bigger than the industrial revolution that took place and changed the human evolution that is happening. So same way AI is literally going to change that, and I'm sure in the next 5, 10, 15 years, um, the globe is going to be completely different.
Right, sir. So now is the time for the small scale industries to spike up with the help of AI.
Correct. I mean, this is literally leveling the playing field. It's just that maybe to some extent, if regulations, ease of business further helps, that can really kind of take away the kind of boundaries that are there. So it's just and possibly if a founder or a small scale guy is a very smart guy, rather they would, with the help of AI, they would be able to come out with solutions quite well.
Absolutely, sir. Lastly, I would like to ask you, what advice do you have for young people entering into your industry about AI?
So this is a very fantastic question. Most young people, I mean, we have interns joining our company now and then, and it's a very, or rather, quite a good part of our company has been built with the help of interns, and which I'm quite proud of, because a lot of systems processes is what gets supported by them. Now, when they join, they generally want to learn. They are full of ideas, and but what happens when they join is they see a good amount of automation that is already being done, and they start getting a bit back foot, and that is where we come into picture, and then let them know, कि boss, AI is a very necessary part of skill that will be required for you to navigate rest of your life. I mean, unlike us who have had their life, 20 years of life before mobile, uh, maybe 20 years or 10 years in internet, 10 years in mobile, and now last 3, 4 years, 5 years in AI, and possibly for them, it's 80% of their life is AI and plus. I mean, I'm not saying the technological evolution will stop at AI. It will further add to things that will likely to happen going forward. So if the basic structure, it is something like, in our days, English used to be a differentiator, or the way people talk in English used to be the differentiator, and that is why everyone would want to maybe brush up themselves on good English. Same is the case here. It's it will have to be embraced, first thing. And it's not that AI is going to take away jobs, it's the people who are having knowledge of AI are going to take the job. Rather than it being technology, it is your muscle, it's your brain muscle, it's maybe even your physical muscle, if you can really use it in a manner which reduces your physical efforts. Yes, it can be used that way as well. So it is an ability to structure your questions, sends the check, sends the outputs, and ultimately how contextual you make it with your human intelligence and artificial intelligence is what is going to help you going forward. Have a bit of a originality and a judgment to table that particular output that is there. So net it is going to be how empathetically you are able to learn and implement it, how your storytelling is in place and not the story selling, and lastly how you have that scalable machine inside being put in chota packet, right? India is all famous about that chota packet and how relevant that chota packet is. So, as an Indian and who has this rich culture of past as well as the kind of adversity, a young guy need to embrace AI and maybe tell this world how a combination of human intelligence, artificial intelligence, and that youth intelligence. Why I? I mean, a combination of these three is what can do wonders.
Absolutely, sir. It was a very fantastic podcast session with you. I hope the listeners, especially the young people, must be getting a very lovely insight from this. That there's nothing to be scared by AI. Just we have to put your skills into right place, and everything will be fine. Thank you
Definitely.
so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you, Kamadi. That was
Yes.
a wonderful conversation that I've had on AI